Hey guys, this is Allison from Allykatkreations. How are you? Allergies, fun times. Before I begin, please hit that like button. Please subscribe if you haven't done so already. Please share. Happy Flag Day. It's we, not me. Happy Flag Day. Also, if anybody has it within you to support my work, if I've given you a light bulb, a connect the dot, a mic drop, a new book to read, please consider supporting me. This most likely will be my last month doing this until my situation will get figured out, and I don't know when that will be. So I'm gonna try to work my butt off to do these readings and then clean out my house and hope I could sell enough to make bills. But I can't continue doing that unless I have help. So please, if you have it within you to help me out, that'd be wonderful. I live in communism, by the way. New York City. So I'm going to continue reading the Sepher Bahir. And again, just to a little reminder, I have no back teeth. These front teeth drop down, and there's a lot of words that I cannot project out. And I also am not the best with Hebrew. So if there are names and words, I'm not here to be disrespectful to anyone or the language itself. I try. And that's all that anybody could be asked to do. Yeah. Rabbi Rachai sat and expounded, "What is the axis teli? This is the likeness that is before the Blessed Holy One. It is thus written, Song of Songs 5:11. Quote, he locks up, his locks are curled. Talatim, end quote. What is the sphere? This is the womb. What is the heart? It is that regarding which is written Deuteronomy 4:11, unto the heart of heaven. In it are included the 32 mystical paths of wisdom. What is the meaning of the verse Numbers 6:24-26? Quote, may God bless you and watch you. May God make his face shine on you and be gracious to you. May God lift his face to you and give you peace, end quote. This is the explicit name of the Blessed Holy One. It is the name containing 12 letters as it is written, YHVH, 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 Yad. This teaches us that God's name consists of 3 troops. Each troop resembles the other, and each one's name is a like name. All of them are sealed with Yad, He, Vav, He. And how? The Yad, He, Vav, He, He can be permeated 24 different ways, forming one troop. This is my God, bless you. In a similar manner, the second one, may God make his face shine. These are 24 names of the Blessed Holy One. In a similar manner, the third one, may God lift his face. These are 24 names of the Blessed Holy One. This teaches us that each army with its leaders and officers has 24. Multiply 24 by 3 and you have 72 names of the Blessed Holy One. These are the 72 names derived from the verses Exodus 14:19-21. And traveled and came and stretched. And who are the officers? We learn that they are 3. Strength, Geburah, is the officer of the holy forms to the left of the Blessed One. This is Gabriel. The officer of the all holy forms, to his right is Michael. In the middle is truth. Interesting. This is Uriel. The officer of the holy forms, each officer is over 24 forms, but there is no reckoning of his troops, as it is written, Job 25:3. Is there a number to his troops? But if so, then there are 72 plus 72, he said. This is not the case, for when Israel brings a sacrifice before their Father in heaven, they are united together. This is the unification of our God. Why is this sacrifice called a carbon? Because it brings the forms of the holy powers close. It is thus written, Ezekiel 37:17, and you shall join one of them to the other, making one stick, and they shall become one in your hands. And why is it called a pleasant fragrance? Fragrance is only in the nose. The sense of smell is through breath, and this is nowhere but in nose. Pleasant means nothing other than descending. It is thus written in Leviticus 9:22, and he descended. And the Targum translates this as V Nachish. The fragrant spirit descends and unifies it with those holy forms, bringing itself closer through the sacrifice. It is for this reason that is called Karban. There is a name that is derived from 3 verses, Exodus 14:19 through 21, and traveled and came and stretched. The letters of the first verse, and traveled, are arranged in this name in the order that they are in the verse. The letters of the second verse, and came, are arranged in the name in reverse order. The letters of the third passage, and stretched, are arranged in the name in the same order as they occur in the verse, just like the case of the first verse. Each of these verses has 72 letters. Therefore, each of the names that is derived from these 3 sentences, and traveled and came and stretched, contains 3 letters. These are the 72 names. They emanate and divide themselves into 3 sections, 24 to each section. Over each of these sections is a high officer. Each section has 4 directions to watch: east, west, north, and south. The 4 directions then have a total of 24 forms, as well as the second and the third. All of them are sealed with Yad-Heh-Vav-Heh, God of Israel, the living God, Shaddai, high and exalted, who dwells in eternity on high, whose name is holy. Yad-Heh-Vav-Heh. Blessed be the name of the glory of his kingdom forever and ever. Rabbi Ahillah sat and expounded what is the meaning of the verse, God, Yad-Heh-Vav-Heh, is king. God was king, and God will be king forever and ever. This is the explicit name, Shem Ha-Morphadish. Morpharish? For which permission was given that it be permuted and spoken. And it is thus written, Numbers 6:27, and they shall place my name upon the children of Israel, and I will bless them. This refers to the name containing 12 letters. It is the name used in the priestly blessing, may God bless you. It contains 3 names, each with 4 letters, making a total of 12. Its vowel points are Yaphael, Yaphoel, and Yaphul. If one safeguards it and mentions it in holiness, then all his prayers are heard. And not only that, but he is loved on high and below, and immediately answered in health. This is the explicit name that was written on Aaron's forehead. The explicit name containing 72 letters and the explicit name containing 12 letters were given over by the Blessed Holy One to Mezariah, who stands before the curtain. He gave it to Elijah on Mount Carmel, and when and with he ascended and did not taste death. These are the explicit holy exalted names. There are 12 names, one for each of the 12 tribes of Israel. Okay, there's a lot of names here that I will not be able to pronounce. I will give it my best attempt. Atizara Ran, Akutlitha Ran, Shema Kortharan, Demushaharan, Bataz Zipthran, Hermion, Broch, Yaran, Esh Gadasan, Bashava Mahan, Chizahaya, Havayaha, Ve Harathan. All of them are included in the heart of heaven. They include male and female. They are given over to the axis, the sphere and the heart, and they are wellspring of wisdom. Rabbi Rumai sat and expounded, what are the 12 tribes of Israel? But this teaches us the Blessed Holy One has 12 rods. What are they? What is it like? A king had a beautiful fountain. All his brothers had no water other than this fountain and could not endure thirst. What did he do? He made 12 pipes for the fountain and named them after his brother's children. He then said to them, if the sons are as good as their father, they will be worthy, and I will let water flow through the pipes. The fathers will drink all they wish, and so will the sons. But if the sons are not worthy and do not do what is right in my eyes, then regarding this, these pipes will stand, and I will give them water only on the condition that they give none to their children, since they do not obey my will. What is the meaning of the word Shevet, tribe? It is something simple and not square. What is the reason? Because it is impossible to have one square inside another square. A circle inside a square can move. A square inside a square cannot move. What are the things that are circular? They are the vowel points in the Torah of Moses, for these are all round. They are to the letters like the soul, which lives in the body of man. It is impossible for man to come unless the spirit endures within him. It is impossible for him to speak anything, great or small, without it. In a similar manner, it is impossible to speak a word, great or small, without the vowel points. Every vowel point is round and every letter is square. The vowel points are the life of the letters, and through them, the letters endure. These vowel points come through the pipes to the letters through the fragrance of a sacrifice, which immediately descends. It is therefore called a descending pleasant fragrance to God, indicating that it descends to God. This is the meaning of the verse Deuteronomy 6:4. Hear, O Israel, the Lord is our God, the Lord is one. Rabbi Yakinin said, what is the meaning of the verse Exodus 15:3? God is a man, Ish of war, God Yadve Hadve is he name. Man Ish indicates a sign. The Targum thus renders, God is a man of war, as God is the master of victory in war. What is this master? Elf is the first, the holy place. Do we say then that the palace is holy? Instead, we say the palace of the Holy One. Yad is the 10 sayings with which the world was created. What are they? They are the Torah of truth, which includes all worlds. What is the shin? He said, it is the root of the tree. The letter shin is like the root of a tree. What is the tree that you mentioned? He said, it represents the powers of the Blessed Holy One above the other. Just like the tree brings forth fruit through water, so the Blessed Holy One increases the power of the tree through water. What is this water of the Blessed Holy One? It is wisdom. It is the soul of righteousness. They fly from the fountain to the great pip, ascend and attach themselves to the tree. Through what do they fly? Through Israel. Way, they are good and righteous. The divine presence dwells among them. Their deeds then rest in the bosom of the Blessed Holy One, and he makes them fruitful and multiplies them. How do we know that the divine presence is called Tizdek, righteous? It is written, Deuteronomy 33:26. He who rides in the heavens is your help, and his majesty is in the skies. Shemachem. It is also written, Isaiah 45:8. The skies, Shevachem, run with righteousness, Tizdek. Tizdek is the divine presence as it is written, Isaiah 1:21. Righteousness, Tizdek, dwells in it. Righteousness was given to David as it is written, Psalm 146:10. May God reign forever, your God, O Zion, for generation to generation. It was also written 1 Chronicles 11:1. Zion is the city of David. What is the meaning of generation to generation? Rabbi Pius said, a generation goes and a generation comes. Ecclesiastes, I tried. 1:4, Rabbi Akiva said, the generation come already came. What is this like? A king had slaves, and he dressed them with garments of silk and satin according to his ability. Their relationship broke down, and he cast them out, repelled them, and took his garments away from them. They then went on their own way. The king took the garments and washed them well until there was not a sign, not a single spot on them. He placed them with his storekeepers, brought other slaves, and dressed them with the same garments. He did not know whether or not slaves were good, but they were worthy of garments that he already had and which had been previously worn. And Elasticus, that's as best as I'm projecting that, 1:4, but the earth stands forever. This is the same as Ecclesiastes 12:6. The dust returns to the earth as it was, but the spirit returns to God who gave it. I tried. Without passing it up, the last time I did, I had to. Again, you know what I'm talking about. The 10th Sithera. Rabbi Amori said, what is the meaning of the verse, Leviticus 9:22? And Aaron raised up his hands to bless the people, and he blessed them, and he descended. Did he not already descend? But he descended from making the sin offering, the burnt offering, and the peace offerings. And then Aaron raised up his hands to bless the people. What is the meaning of this raising? It was because he had offered a sacrifice and brought them before their Father in heaven. As we have said, those who offer sacrifice must elevate them and unify them. To unify them amongst these. And what are they? The people, as it is written, to the people, and for the sake of the people. I thought thou shalt not kill. I guess sacrifice counts. It doesn't count. Yeah. Why are the hands lifted when they are blessed in this manner? It is because the hands have 10 fingers, alluding to the 10th Sithera, with which heaven and earth were sealed. These parallel the 10 commandments. In these 10 are included the 613 commandments. If you count the letters in the 10 commandments, you will find that there are 613 letters. They contain all 22 letters except Teth, which is the meaning in them. What is the reason for this? This teaches us that Teth is the belly and in not included among the Sithera. Why are they called Sithera? Because it is written, Psalm 19:2, the heavens declared me, Sephim, the glory of God. And what are they? They are three, among them all, 3 troops and 3 dominions. The first dominion is light. Light is the life of water. The second dominion includes the Chathiath, Kadash, the Ophraim, the wheels of the chariot, and all the troops of the blessed Holy One. The bless, exalt, glorify, praise, and sanctify the might King with the Kadasha, arranged in the mystery of the great Kadasha is the fearsome and terrible King, and they crown him with the 3 holies. Why are there 3 holies and not 4? Because the holiness on high is 3 by 3. It is thus written, God is king, God was king, and God will be king forever and ever. It is also written, Numbers 6:24-26. May God bless you. May God shine upon you. May God lift you. It is furthermore written, Exodus 34:6. God Yadveh Hadveh, God Yadveh Hadveh. The third one includes the rest of God's attributes. What are they? God, merciful and gracious, the 13 attributes. What is the meaning of the holy, 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 followed by the Lord of hosts? The whole earth is filled with his glory. The holy is the highest crown. The second holy is the root of the tree. The third holy is attached and unified in them all. The Lord of hosts, the whole earth is filled with his glory. What is the holy? That is attached and unified. What is this like? A king had sons who in turn also had sons. When the sons do his will, he mingles with them, supports them, and sanctifies them all. He gives them all everything good so that they should be able to satisfy their children. But when the grandchildren do not do his will, then he only gives the fathers as much as they need. What is the meaning of the whole earth is filled with his glory? This is the earth that was created on the first day. It is on high, filled with God's glory and paralleling the land of Israel. And what is this glory? It is wisdom, as it is written, Proverbs 3:35. The wisdom shall inherit glory. What is God's glory? What is this like? A king had a matron in his chamber, and all his troops delighted in her. She had sons, and each day they came to see the king to bless him. They asked him, Where is our mother? He replied, You cannot see her now. They said, Let her be blessed wherever she is. What is the meaning of from his place? This indicates that none know his place. This is like a royal princess who came from a far place. People did not know her origin, but they saw that she was a woman of valor, beautiful and refined in all her ways. They said, She certainly orientates from the side of light, for she illuminates the world through her deeds. They asked her, From where are you? She replied, From my place. They said, If so, the people of your place are great. May you be blessed, and may you be blessed. May you place be blessed. Is this glory of God then not of his own hosts? Is it not inferior? Why then do they bless it? But what is this like? A man had a beautiful garden. Outside the garden, but close to it, he had a pleasant section of field. On this section, he planted a beautiful flower garden. The first thing that he would water would be his garden. The water would spread over the entire garden. It would not reach the section of field, however, since it was not attached, even though it was all one. He therefore opened a place for it and watered it separately. Rabbi Rumai said, Glory, kavod, and heart live. Both have the same value. They are both one, but glory refers to its function on high, and hearts refers to the function below. God's glory and the heart of heaven are therefore both identical. Rabbi Yachanan said, What is the meaning of the verse Exodus 17:11? And it was when Moses would raise his hands, Israel would prevail, and when he would lower his hands, Amalek would prevail. This teaches us that the whole world endures because of the lifting of hands. Why? Because the name of the power given to Jacob is Israel. Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob were each given a particular power. The counterpart of the attribute in which one would walk was given to him. Abraham did deeds of kindness. He prepared food for everyone in his area and for all wayfarers. He acted kindly, went out to greet them, as it is written Genesis 18:2, and he ran to greet them. Not only that, but Genesis 18:2, he bowed to the earth. This was a complete act of kindness. God therefore granted him the same measure and gave him the attribute of kindness. Chesed. It is thus written, Micah 7:20, you give truth to Jacob, kindness to Abraham, as you swore to our fathers from days of yore. What is the meaning of from days of yore? This teaches us that Abraham did not do deeds of kindness, then he would not have been worthy of the attribute of truth. Jacob then would not have been worthy of the attribute of truth in the merit through which Abraham was worthy of the attribute of kindness. Isaac became worthy of the attribute of terror. It is thus written, Genesis 31:53, and Jacob swore by the terror of his father Isaac. Does anyone then swear in this manner, mentioning his belief in the terror of his father? But up until that time, Jacob had not been given any power. He therefore swore by the power that was given to his father. It is for this reason that it is written, and Jacob swore by the terror of his father, Isaac. What is it? It is chaos. It emanates from evil and astounds people. And what is that? It is regarding which is written 1 Kings 18:38, and fire came down and it consumed the burnt offerings and the stones and the earth, and it evaporated the water that was in the trench. It is also written Deuteronomy 4:24, the Lord your God is consuming fire, a jealous God. What is kindness? It is the Torah, as written Isaiah 55:1. Oh, let all who are thirsty come for water. Let he without silver come. Kindness is silver. It is thus written, come stock up and eat. Come stock up wine and milk, without silver and without payment. He fed you Torah and taught you, for you have already earned it through the merit of Abraham, who did deeds of kindness. Without silver, he would feed others, and without payment, he would give them wine and milk. Why wine and milk? What does one have to do with the other? But this teaches us that wine is terror and milk is kindness. Why is wine mentioned first? Because it is closer to us. Do you think that this refers to actual wine and milk? He must say that it is the likeness of wine and milk. Through the merit of Abraham, who was worthy of the attribute of kindness, Isaac was worthy of the attribute of terror. And because Isaac was worthy of the attribute of terror, Jacob was worthy of the attribute of truth, which is the attribute of peace. God bestowed him according to his measure. It is thus written, Genesis 25:27. Jacob was complete man, dwelling in tents. The word complete means nothing other than peace. It is thus written, Deuteronomy 18:13. You shall be complete with the Lord your God. And the Targum renders this, you shall be at peace, shalom. And the word complete refers to nothing other than the Torah. It is thus written, Malachi 2:6, a Torah of truth was in his mouth. What is written in the very next phrase? It states, with peace and uprightness, he walked before me. Uprightness is nothing other than peace, as it is written, Psalms 25:21, complete and upright. It is therefore written, Exodus 17:11, and it was when Moses would raise his hands, Israel would prevail. This teaches us that the attribute that is called Israel has it in a Torah of truth. Interesting. What is the meaning of a Torah of truth? It is that which teaches More, the truth of worlds, as well as his deeds and thought. He erected 10 sayings, and with them the world stands. It is one of them. In man, he created 10 fingers, paralleling these 10 sayings. Moses raised his hands and concentrated to some degree on the attribute that is called Israel, which contains the Torah of truth, which is his 10 fingers. He alluded that he was upholding the 10, for if he would not help Israel, then the 10 sayings would not endure every day. It was for this reason that Israel prevailed. And when he lowered his hands, Almech prevailed. Would Moses then do anything that would cause Almech to prevail? Because it is forbidden for a person to stand for 3 hours with his hands spread out to heaven. His disciples asked, "To whom are the hands raised?" He replied, "To the heights of heaven." How do we know this? It is written, Habakkuk 3:10, "The deep gives forth its voice. It lifts up its hands on high." This teaches us that the lifting of hands is only to the heights of the heaven. When among Israel there are people who are wise and known the mysteries of the glorious name, and they lift up their hands, they are immediately answered. It is thus written, Isaiah 58:9, "Then as you will call and God will answer. If you call God, then as he will answer you immediately." What is the meaning of then? This teaches us that it is not permissible to call Alf alone. It may only be called through the 2 letters that are attached to it, which sit first in the kingdom. Together with the Alf, they are then 3. 7 of the 10 sayings then remain, and this is Zion. It is also written, Exodus 15:1, "Then as sang Moses and the children of Israel." What are the 10 sayings? The first is the highest crown. Blessed and praised be its name and its people who are its people. They are Israel. It is thus written, Psalm 103, "Know that the Lord is God. He made us and not lo, we his people." The verse then reads, "To Alf are we to recognize and know to the unity of units, who is unified in all his names." The second one is wisdom. It is thus written, Proverbs 8:22, "God procured me the beginning of his way, before his works from the as." A beginning is nothing other than wisdom, as it is written, Psalm 111:10, "The beginning is wisdom, the fear of God." The third one is the quarry of the Torah, the treasury of wisdom, the quarry of the Spirit of God. This teaches us that God carved out all the letters of the Torah, engraved it with spirit, and with it made all forms. This is the meaning of the verse 1 Samuel 2:2. There is no rock to Zor like our God. There is no former to Zer like our God. These are 3. What is the fourth? The fourth is Deuteronomy 33:21. The charity of God, his merit and his kindness, chesed to all the world. This is the right hand of the Blessed Holy One. What is the fifth? The fifth is the great fire of the Blessed Holy One. Regarding this, it is written, Deuteronomy 18:16. "Let me see the great fire no more, lest I die." This is the left hand of the Blessed Holy One. What are they? They are the Kedath High Kodesh, and the holy seraphim to their right and their left. They are the pleasant ones, which ascend higher and higher, as it is written in Ecclesiastes 5:7, "and ones higher than they." It is also written Ezekiel 1:18, "And as for their height, they had height, and they had fear, and their height was filled with eyes around the 4. And around him were angels. Those around them also bowed down before them, kneeling and declaring, The Lord, he is God. The Lord, he is God." The sixth one is the throne of glory, crowned, included phrase, and hailed. It is the house of the world to come, and its place is in wisdom. It is thus written, Genesis 1:3, "And God said, let there be light, and there was light." And Rabbi Yachanan said, "There were 2 lights, as it is written, and there was light." Regarding both of them, it is written, Genesis 1:4, that it was good. The Blessed Holy One took one light and stored it away from the righteous in the world to come. Regarding this, it is written, Psalm 31:20, how great is the good that you have hidden away from those who fear you, that you have accomplished for this, who find shelter in you. We learn that no creature could look at the first light. It is thus written, Genesis 1:4, and God saw the light that was good. It is furthermore written, Genesis 1:21, and God saw all that he made, and behold, it was very good. And God saw all that he had made, and saw shining, brilliant good. He took of that good and included it in the 32 paths of wisdom, giving to this world. This is the meaning of the verse, Proverbs 4:2. I have given you a doctrine of good, my Torah, do not abandon it. We say that this is the treasury of the oral Torah. The Blessed Holy One said, this attribute is considered to be included in this world, and it is the oral Torah. If you keep this attribute in this world, then you will be worthy of the world to come, which is a good stored away for the righteousness. What is it? It is the force of the Blessed Holy One. It is thus written, Habakkuk 3:4, and the glow will be like light. The glow that was taken from the first light will be like our light if his children keep the Torah and commandment that I wrote to teach them. It is thus written, Proverbs 1:8, hear my son, the admiration of your father, and do not abandon the Torah of your mother. And it is written, Habakkuk 3:4, he has raised from his hands, and his hidden force is there. What is his hidden force? This is the light that was stored away and hidden, as it is written, Psalm 31:20, that you have hidden away from those who fear you what remains for us in that which you have accomplished for those who find shelter in you. These are the ones who find shelter in your shadow in this world, who keep your Torah, observe your commandments, and sanctify your name, unifying it secretly and publicly. The verse thus concludes, in the sight of the sons of man. Rabbi Rumai said, this teaches us that Israel had light, Torah is light, as it is written, Proverbs 6:23. For a commandment is a lamp, Torah is light. And we say that a lamp is a commandment illumination, Ora, oral Torah, and light, or is the written Torah. Why? Because this light has already been kept. It is called light. What is this like? A room was hidden at the end of a house. Even though it is day and there is bright light in the world, we cannot see in this room unless he brings along a lamp. The same is true of the oral Torah. Even though it is light, it needs the written Torah to answer its questions and explain its mysteries. Rabbi Rami said, what is the meaning of the verse Proverbs 6:23? And the way of life is the rebuke of admiration. This teaches us that when a person accustoms himself to study the mystery of creation and the mystery of the chariot, it is impossible that he not stumble. It is therefore written, Isaiah 3:6, let this stumbling be under your hand. This refers to things that a person cannot understand unless they cause him to stumble. The Torah calls it the rebuke of admiration, but actually it makes one worthy of the ways of life. One who wishes to be worthy of the way of life must therefore endure the rebuke of admiration. Another explanation, life, is the Torah, as it is written, Deuteronomy 30:19, and you shall choose life. It is furthermore written, Deuteronomy 30:20, for it is your life and your length of days. If one wants to be worthy of it, he should reject physical pleasure and accept the yoke of the commandments. If he is afflicted with suffering, he should accept it with love. He should not ask, since I am fulfilling the will of my Maker and am studying the Torah each day, why I am afflicted with suffering. Rather, he should accept it with love. Then he will be completely worthy of the way of life. For who knows the ways of the Blessed Holy One regarding all things? One must therefore say, righteous are you, O God, and your judgment is fair. All that is done from heaven is for the good. You said his throne. Have we then not said that it is the crown of the Blessed Holy One? We have said Israel was crowned with 3 crowns, the crown of priesthood, the crown of royalty, and the crown of Torah above them all. What is this like? A king has a pleased, beautiful vessel, and he was very fond of it. Sometimes he placed it on his head, and this is the tefillin worn on his head. At other times, he carried it in his arms, in the knot of the tefillin worn on his arm. Sometimes he lent it to his son so that he should remain with him. Sometimes it is called his throne. This is because he carries it as an amulet on his arm, just like a throne. What is the 7th? It is the heaven, Arvat. And why is it called heaven, Shem and Yam? Because it is round like a head. We learn that it is in the center, with water at its right and fire at its left. It supports water, Sai Mayim, from water and fire, and brings peace between them. Fire comes and finds the attribute of fire on its side. Water comes and finds the attribute of water on its side. It is therefore written, Job 25:2, he makes peace in his high places. Is it then the 7th? It is nothing more than the 6th, but this teaches us that the holy palace is here, and it supports them all. It is thus counted as 2. It is therefore the 7th. And what is it? It is thought that does not have any end or boundary. This place likewise does not have any end or boundary. The 7th one is the east of the world. It is from where the seed of Israel comes. The spinal cord originates in man's brain and extends to the generative organ where the seed is. It is therefore written, Isaiah 43:5, from the east I will bring your seed. When Israel is good, then this is the place from which I will bring your seed, and new seed will be granted to you. But when Israel is wicked, seed that has already been in the world. It is thus written, Ecclesiastes 1:4, a generation goes and a generation comes, teaching us that it has already come. What is the meaning of the verse Isaiah 43:5? And from the west I will gather you. It means from the attribute that always points to the west. Why is the west called Ma'arav? Because it is there that all seed is mixed together. Mitvarav. What is this like? A king's son had a beautiful bride, and he hid her in his chamber. He took riches from his father's house and constantly brought it to her. She in turn took everything, constantly put it away, and mixed it all together. Ultimately, he seeks to see what he had gathered and accumulated. It is therefore written, and from the west I will gather you. And what is his father's house? It is the regarding which is written, from the east I will bring your seed. This teaches us that it is brought from the east and sowed on the west. He then gathers what he has sown. What is the 8th one? The Blessed Holy One has a single righteous one, Talzik. In his world, it is the dear to him because it supports all the world. It is the foundation, Yazad. This is what sustains it and makes it grow, increasing and watching it. It is beloved and dear on high, and beloved and dear below. Fearsome and mighty on high, and fearsome and mighty below. Rectified and accepted on high, and rectified and accepted below. It is the foundation of all souls. Did you then say that it is the 8th? And did you say that it is the foundation of all souls? It is then not written, Exodus 31:17, and on the 7th day he rested and sold. Yes, it is the 7th. This is because it decides between them. There are 6 and 3 are below and 3 above, and decides between them. Why is it called the 7th? Is it then the 7th? It is not, but it is because the Blessed Holy One rested on the Sabbath, with the attribute regarding which it is written, Exodus 31:17. For 6 days God made the heaven and earth, and on the seventh day he rested and sold. This teaches us that each day has a saying that is its master. This is not because it was created on that day, but because that is when it does the task to which it was assigned. Each one does its task and maintains the activities. The seventh day, therefore, comes and does its task, making them all rejoice. Not only that, but it also causes their souls to grow, as it is written, on the seventh day he rested and sold. What is this rest? It is the absence of work. It is a cessation which is called Shabbat, meaning rest. What is this like? A king had 7 gardens, and the middle one contained a fountain welling up from a living source. 3 gardens are at its right, and the 3 are at its left. When it has performed its function and overflowed, they are rejoiced, saying, it is overflowed for our sake. It waters them and makes them grow while they wait and rest. Do we then say that it waters the seventh? But it is written, Isaiah 43:5, from the east I will bring your seed. This indicates that one of them waters it. We must therefore say that it waters the heart, and the heart then waters them all. Rabbi Baruchai sat and expounded, each day we speak of the world to come. Do we then understand what we are saying? In Aramaic, the world to come is translated the world that came. And what is meaning of the world that came? We learned that before the world was created, it arose in thought to create an intense light to illuminate it. He created an intense light over which no created thing could have authority. The Blessed Holy One saw, however, that the world could not endure it. He therefore took a seventh of it and left it in its place for them. The rest he put away for the righteous in the ultimate future. He said, if they are worthy of the seventh and keep it, I will give them more in the final world. It is therefore called the world that came, since it already came from the 6 days of creation. Regarding this, it is written, Psalm 31:20. How great is your good that you have hidden away from those who fear you. What is the meaning of the verse Exodus 15:27? And they came to Elm, where they were 12 wells of water and 70 date palms, and they encamped there by the water. What is so special about 70 date palms? In one small place, there could be 1,000, but they were worthy of their counterpart. They are likened to the date palms, and it is written, Exodus 15:23. And they came to Marah, and they could not drink of the waters of Marah, for they were bitter. This teaches us that the north wind confused them. It is written, Exodus 15:25. And he cried out to God, and he showed him a tree. He cast it into the waters, and the waters became sweet. God immediately placed his hand against the Satan and diminished him. It is thus written, Exodus 15:25. There he gave them a decree and a law, and there he provided them. This teaches us that at this time, the Satan attached himself to them in order to blot them out from the world. It is thus written, Exodus 15:24. And the people complained to Moses, saying, what shall we drink? The Satan continued to denounce Moses until he cried out to God and was answered. What is the meaning of the verse? And he showed him a tree. This teaches us that the tree of life was near the water. The Satan came and removed it in order to denounce Israel and cause them to sin against their Father in heaven. He said to them, are you now then going into the desert? Even now there is nothing other than bitter water, but this has some benefit, since you can make some use of it. But when you enter the desert, you will not even find water with which to wash your hands and face. You will die from hunger and thirst, naked and having nothing. The people came to Moses and repeated these words, but he put them off. When Satan saw that he could not overcome them, he strengthened himself against Israel and Moses. The people came and they complained to Moses. They said, even here we lack water. what will we drink in the desert? The Satan had falsified the situation in order to cause people to sin. As soon as Moses saw the Satan, he cried out to God, and he showed him a tree. This is the tree of life that Satan had removed. He then cast into it the water, and the water became sweet. The Blessed Holy One then gave the Satan a decree and a law, and it was there that he proved Israel. The Blessed Holy One warned Israel, saying, Exodus 15:26, if you listen to the voice of the Lord your God, I will not bring harm upon you, for I am God who heals you. What is this like? A king had a beautiful daughter, and others desired her. The king knew about it, but could not fight those who wanted to bring his daughter to evil ways. He came to his house and warned her, saying, my daughter did not pay attention to the words of these enemies, and they will not be able to overcome you. Do not leave the house, but do all your work at home. Do not sit idle, even for a single moment. Then they will not be able to see you and harm you. They have one attribute which causes them to leave aside every good way and choose every evil way. When they see a person directing himself along a good way, they hate him. What is the attribute? It is Satan. He teaches us the Blessed One only. The Blessed Holy One has an attribute whose name is evil. It is to the north of the Blessed Holy One, as it is written, Jeremiah 1:14, for the north will evil come forth upon the inhabitants of the earth. Any evil that comes to all inhabitants of the earth comes from the north. What is this one attribute? It is the form of a hand. It has many messengers, and the name of them all is evil. Some of them are great and some of them are small, but they all bring guilt to the world. This is because chaos is toward the north. Chaos, tohu, is nothing other than evil. It confounds taha, the world, and causes people to sin. Every evil urge, yitzer hara, that exists in man comes from there. And why is it placed to the left? This is because it does not have any authority any place in the world except in the north. It is not accustomed to be anywhere except in the north. It does not want to be placed but in the north. If it remained the south until it learned the routes of the south, how could it lead others astray? It would have to stay there for days until it learned, and then it could not cause people to sin. It therefore is always in the north to the left. This is the meaning of the verse Genesis 8:21. For the urge of man's heart is evil. From his youth, it is evil from his youth, and it does not decline other than to the left, for it is already accustomed to be there. It is regarding this that the Blessed Holy One said to Israel, Exodus 15:26, if you listen to the voice of your Lord God and do what is upright in his eyes, and give ear to his commandments, and not to the commandments of the evil urge, and keep all his decrees and not the decrees of the evil urge, for I am God who heals you. So I'm going to leave it there, guys, because we're nearing the end and I want to have enough to read for the next time. So I hope you enjoyed this section. Again, I don't agree with a lot of things that are said there, but I find it very interesting. And there's a lot of perceptions you could take away from that. So I hope you enjoyed that. Sending each and every one of you love and light. I hope all of you have an amazing day. Happy Flag Day for those of you who celebrate, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye, guys.